And welcome back, everyone, to Lantern Corp. Today's Lantern Corp comes to us from Lord Jiraiya, who asked the question, "What is the Lantern Corp of Gohan?" Gohan's interesting because Gohan honestly is a boring answer mixed with a couple more unique answers. Starting just from the top right and going down, Sorrow. Gohan's never been sad enough, I think, to really qualify for a Sorrow Lantern. In fact, every time he's been close to sorrow like that, he immediately dips into the emotion of rage because that's when this like the Saiyan rage boost usually happens. Never been perpetually happy his whole life, although he's been happy a lot of his life. I wouldn't say it's all of his life, so gold can't work. Shame, Gohan has felt shame before certainly, but not enough I think to qualify for this Lantern Corps. Life, he is someone who protects the individuals of Earth and the universe, as well as being a father, so therefore he has brought life into the world. And as a kid, he certainly had a lot of fun, but as an adult, he's kind of gotten boring and not bureaucratic, that's not the right word, but he's just kind of not, doesn't have the lust for life he once did. Black is interesting because he has died before. But that, and if you're trying to remember when it was, that was during the the end of the Majin Buu arc where they were all pulled out of Majin Buu. The Kid Buu blew up the planet. So yes, he has been killed before. But beyond that, he's not really a good candidate for this Corps. He's not someone who wants to kill, wants to even fight really. Hope. I honestly, and I'd say after relooking at the Lantern Corps I have here, Hope is one that could be on here. In fact, Hope is one that may even work better in his favor than, say, Goku. Just due to the fact that at multiple points in time, he has become the strongest individual on the show. Or in the series. The strongest of the Z Fighters is what I meant to say. But, and even now, he's technically the strongest of the Z Fighters. But I don't personally think Hope really fits him, just because I think a couple other Lantern Corps work better. He's certainly not an average Lantern. He does not work. He does not really want for anything. He's got what he needs: a wife, family, kid, friends, and compassion. Even though he's certainly compassionate, he's also not. I mean, he's not devoid of it, but it's not his most defining trait. So, ironically, again, sad to say, I do think the best option for him is going to be either the Green Lantern Corps of Will and the Sapphire Lantern Corps of Love. One, because what he does really is his motivation is the love for his family, even though he does get completely engrossed in his work too often. But I think Green's probably better just because that is kind of Gohan's entire story arc, going from this little kid who was scared of everything to this, this warrior who could take on universal ending threats. That's kind of his story arc in many ways. So I think Will is probably the most likely. But if we're looking at him in different stages of his life, then there are two other Lantern Corps that could work, but only during those times. One, fear. Gohan, once you got around to, say, the Buu arc, became someone who could really inspire fear, particularly in Cell. Cell actually became afraid of Gohan for a little bit in that fight, when he just saw how powerful he is. Or was, I should say. Even Super Buu got completely scared of Gohan until he absorbed Piccolo and Gotenks. So fear, I think, because of his power and who he's gone up against, can work in this state, but only in certain instances in his life. Speaking of which, the only time that rage really works, you'd think Gohan with his infamous rage moments would be a textbook Rage Lantern, but that's not how that works. Rage has to be something you're carrying basically inside you. It has to be your dominant emotion. For Gohan, those are really only dominant emotions in those moments and for a short while in those fights. They're not the dominant trait of his character. Vegeta would be a much better candidate, at least up until, say, after after he destroys himself with Fat Buu. Vegeta would be a much better candidate for a Rage Lantern than Gohan would be. But there are certainly moments scattered throughout the entirety of the series where Gohan is clearly a Rage Lantern, at least for a short period. So if all the rings are coming to Earth, hovered around Gohan in those moments, the Rage Lantern would be the immediate Lantern he would become. But that's not a guarantee kind of Lantern Corps in this case. That's why I don't think it's a dominant one. Sadly, the boring answer, as always, is green. But this is just because it's the one that fits the best, in my opinion. Still, this is just my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.